One of the most common questions real estate professionals hear from investors today is, can I Airbnb this property? It is a simple question that leads into a very complex set of local regulations. While it seems simple, the better first question is, what specific rules control this property? This distinction can save buyers from incredibly costly mistakes down the road. Today, we will break down how short-term rentals work in Northern Virginia, why understanding the rules is more crucial than potential rental income, and what you must investigate. A common misconception is that if similar listings exist online, your property must also be allowed to operate the same way. This assumption can be expensive and risky. Those listings may have been approved under different rules or may not comply with current regulations. Operating without a permit can lead to heavy fines or forced closures. Every property has its own set of governing rules, often originating from local ordinances. In Northern Virginia, counties like Arlington and Fairfax have very specific frameworks. There may be registration requirements, business licenses, permits, occupancy limits, and parking regulations. Ignoring these details can jeopardize your entire business model before it starts. Some jurisdictions restrict short-term rentals specifically to primary residences. This means an owner must live in the property for a certain number of days per year to qualify. This prevents an owner from simply purchasing a dedicated investment property and starting a rental business. It's a critical distinction that many out-of-state investors often overlook. Many buyers are surprised to learn that even if a county allows short-term rentals, an HOA can prohibit them entirely. These private contracts often override the broader municipal permissions. Imagine finding the perfect property only to discover after closing that the condominium prohibits rentals shorter than 6 months. Suddenly, your entire investment model changes completely. Buyers should answer several layers of questions before assuming any property can become a successful rental. Start with the local government. Does the county allow short-term rentals? Are permits required? What taxes apply? You must look at the transient occupancy tax specifically, as it is separate from your standard property taxes and must be collected. Then, move to the association documents. Does the HOA permit short-term rentals? Are there minimum lease periods? Some associations require a minimum of 30 days, effectively banning Airbnb. Regulations can evolve, so investors should avoid building financial plans around assumptions. What is legal today may be restricted tomorrow as local governments react to housing needs. Condominiums require additional research. Many first-time investors assume they have complete freedom over how to use their unit. However, condominium ownership involves shared ownership of common areas. Now, let's discuss the financial side. Many first-time investors focus on attractive nightly rates but fail to consider the larger equation. Successful owners think of their properties as businesses. Every booking creates responsibilities, costs, and affects cash flow. Furnishing is a significant upfront cost. Unlike long-term rentals, short-term rentals need to be fully furnished before opening. Cleaning is another ongoing expense, often required after nearly every reservation. Management, whether self-managed or through a property manager, also requires a significant investment of time and money. Tax obligations may be more complex than expected. Beyond standard income tax, you must navigate local lodging taxes that vary by municipality in the Northern Virginia area. Platform fees should not be overlooked either, as they directly reduce your net income. Occupancy rates are another critical factor. Many assume their property will be booked nearly every night. Every market has slower periods. Strong investment decisions should account for vacancy rather than ignoring it. Planning for realistic occupancy is the key to accurate financial forecasting. Neighborhood conditions also influence long-term success. Parking availability, walkability, and nearby attractions matter. Understanding who your likely guest will be is just as important as the property. Ask yourself if the property would still work as a long-term rental if regulations change. Flexibility often creates resilience, allowing for multiple paths to financial success. Northern Virginia offers diverse investment opportunities, but every property should be evaluated individually. What works in one jurisdiction might be prohibited in the neighboring county. In Arlington County, for example, short-term rentals are restricted to your primary residence. This is a foundational rule that every potential investor must respect from the start. You must obtain a specific accessory homestay permit and be present in the home for at least 185 days of the year to maintain your legal status. Fairfax County has its own set of rules that are quite different from its neighbors. They require a short-term lodging permit, which must be renewed every 2 years by the owner. In Fairfax, you're generally limited to 60 nights per year. This strict limit significantly impacts the potential ROI for those looking to operate a rental as a full-time business. Loudoun County regulates these properties through its specific zoning ordinances. Each town within the county may have its own additional layers of specific requirements. The rules in rural Loudoun can differ greatly from those in urbanized areas like Ashburn. Always check the specific zoning map for your exact property address before building your financial model. Zoning districts determine if a special use permit is required. These permits often involve a public hearing process, which can be time-consuming and doesn't always guarantee a final approval. Consulting with a local expert who understands these nuances is invaluable. They can help you navigate by right uses versus those requiring special permissions from the Planning Commission. Don't forget the transient occupancy tax. In Northern Virginia, this is often a percentage of the stay price and must be filed monthly or quarterly with the local finance department. Failing to remit this tax can lead to severe penalties. While many platforms collect this automatically, you are ultimately responsible for ensuring the correct amounts reach the county treasury. Safety inspections are often part of the permit process. Your property may need to meet specific fire codes, including interconnected smoke detectors and clear egress routes for every guest room. These standards protect guests, but they can require upfront investment to bring older homes into compliance with modern short-term lodging safety and building code requirements. Maintaining good relationships with your neighbors is a business necessity. Excessive noise or parking issues can lead to complaints that result in the revocation of your rental permit. Providing neighbors with a direct contact number can help resolve issues early. A successful host is always a good member of the community, which helps ensure long-term stability for your business. This is where professional guidance makes the difference. Navigating these overlapping layers of rules requires a team that knows the Northern Virginia market inside and out. At DCI Homes, we help investors analyze properties through the lens of current regulations and future trends. We look for the opportunities that align with your specific investment strategy. The goal is to find the right property for your strategy, with a clear understanding of its limitations and its growth potential. That is how smarter real estate decisions are made. Thank you for joining us today to explore the landscape of short-term rentals. We hope this information helps you navigate your next investment with confidence and clarity in Northern Virginia. Remember always to perform your due diligence. DCI Homes is committed to providing you with the insights you need. It will mean a lot to us if you like and subscribe to our channel so we can keep delivering high-quality content.